Happy Sunday morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am delighted that our guest artist today is my dear friend and wonderful, wonderful singer, Miss Betsy Abramsohn.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer, fun for all that children call their favorite time of year. Snowflakes in the air, carols everywhere, olden times and ancient rhymes of love and dreams to share. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside and joyful memories there. Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Sleigh bells in the air, beauty everywhere. Yuletide by the fireside and joyful memories there. Oh, Christmas time is here, we'll be drawing near. Oh, that we could always see such spirit through the year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And please welcome to the Vima, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox.
Okay, let's have some applause.
Yay.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And Merry Christmas and Happy Pre-Hanukkah. It starts tonight at sundown. Okay. What does Hanukkah start? Sundown tonight, yes. Well, no, I don't think I'm in control of that calendar. But anyway, what a joy and a pleasure for you all to be here today and take time out of your schedule to come and kick off the holiday week here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. And so we've got lots of rumblings going on outside. If we could get everyone in the lobby to come in, please. Service is in here. So Sherry, move out of the door so they can come in, please. All right, who's left out there? Come on in, everybody. Let's get started. Have a good old-fashioned holiday service. Yes, okay.
We're in.
Not everybody. There's 2 more coming. Shut the door to the ark. All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's start anew. Good. So we are the Center for Spiritual Living. All right. Everybody's a little rowdy this morning, aren't they? Good. All right, we got more rolling in. Come on, let's go. 10:01. Here we go. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox. It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and we come together every Sunday morning at 9:56 a.m. to start music and have a great time together, to be in community. Today we come together to celebrate Christmas and the holiday of Hanukkah and the winter solstice that has transpired, but primarily here Christmas because in many ways our philosophy and faith and way of life known as the science of mind was steeped in a lot of Christian tradition. Dr. Ernest Holmes, who put the book together, the compilation of all of his writings in regards to the greatest teachings and spiritual philosophies and religions of the world, did that, and it was published in 1927, and it was definitely based somewhat in traditional Christianity, not from the perspective that we are seeking some salvation from some outside source, but to awaken to the reality that the source of life exists, and exists in its totality and its completeness throughout the universe, and that exists within you and within me in that completeness and that totality, and that we both experience and express and process that power through our thoughts and our mind, our beliefs, our actions, our reactions, and our interactions with life itself. In its most modern incarnation, it's known as a philosophy, a faith, and a way of life. What that all comes down to is that you and I have the opportunity with every thought and belief and action in life to awaken ourselves to knowing who we are as a divine being and to kick into gear a revelation, a revealing, if you will, of the qualities of the divine that exist within us, which are peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And so today,
He's agreeing with you.
I know he is. I love it. I speak canine, so I got it. So our time together today is set up so that we can remember who we are as spiritual beings and reveal those qualities of peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, as well as to have a good time today, communing and singing some Christmas carols and just anchoring ourselves into the holiday week that's in front of us. Is that something you guys are up for? Good. So prior to us doing that, I'm going to invite you to take a very brief moment, and when I say go, say hello to each other. I will let you know when it's time to stop that. And if you have an electronic device that you have with you, I invite you to turn that off unless it's sustaining your life or your hearing. Go. Good morning. Okay. Oh, thank you. So remembering that you were reminded to turn off electronic devices. Speaking of electronics and technology, let's take a moment and say hello to those that are watching us on live via Facebook or live stream. Hello, everyone. So we now move to the part of our service each Sunday morning where we open with a ritual, and that ritual is called Calling in the Light. And it is a ritual for us to become reflective of the light within. This morning, the ritual that we use is going to be calling on those qualities of the divine that I expressed just a moment ago. And so it's one we haven't done in a while, and I invite you to hear it anew. And so I'm going to take us through that as the practitioner of the day. Our musicians will take us on that journey of the musical piece. It'll make sense when there's a call and response to sing along. And our illuminator of the day is one of our longtime members and great volunteers, Wendy Waris. Please welcome her to the bema.
Calling
ritual we perform this morning is called Calling in the Light. The purpose of it is to draw into our gathering a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Today, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. We light the first candle for the quality peace. Peace is defined as a state of inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. May each know today that as they walk our planet, that this peace is deeply within them and that we all make choices that reflect it. Wendy lights the second candle for the quality of power, which is defined as the energy in which everything lives. Let's affirm together that all on our planet use their power in ways that propagate good. Moving to the third quality, Wendy lights it for the quality of beauty. Dr. Ernest Holmes defines beauty as the loveliness of the infinite beheld in its creations by the eye of humanity. Spiritual man beholds this divine loveliness everywhere. Let's affirm and know together that today, each sentient being, even the four-legged ones we have with us today, honors all that they experience and express from this place of loveliness known as beauty, and that we each collectively reap the benefits of this action. As we move to the next candle, the fourth candle, it's illuminated for light. Dr. Holmes writes that in flashes of illumination, the inspired have seen into the very center of reality and have brought back with them a distinct impression of what they've seen and felt. As this act of inspiration and illumination unfolds for each being, may they radiate their light unto the world in a life-affirming manner. And as we move to the fifth candle, Wendy illuminates it for the quality of life. In the science of mind, life is defined as the animating principle of being, that inner something that makes everything live. So today, may we make a covenant that we all use our life in ways that magnifies the allness of life, and in so doing ignites a greater awareness and appreciation of and for life. Moving to the next candle, the quality of love. In metaphysics, love is defined as the self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Love is also a synonym for God. So in this moment, let's all know together that all of humanity, individually and collectively, surrenders to spirit to express itself in ways of compassion, respect, peace, and understanding. Moving to the next candle, joy is the quality that we light this candle for. Joy is defined as the emotion excited by the expectancy of good, gladness, delight, and exultation. Let's each consciously choose to radiate joy and have the faith of God that it is returned to us multiplied abundantly. Moving to the next, we have wisdom. Wisdom is known as intuitive knowing, spiritual intuition, the voice of the divine within as the source of our understanding, mental action that is based on the oneness of life and the pureness of spirit within. Moving to the next candle is the candle that we have today for all who have passed prior to now. It's the remembrance candle. I invite you to take a moment and, if you so choose, say the name out loud of someone that you would like to speak into reality today who's passed on to the other dimension. Dr. David Walker, Cooper Neal, Charles Cox. And so as we call these names out loud, let's know together that speaking their name ignites the light that is within them wherever they may be, and that their light continues to illuminate a pathway of life. Moving to the 10th and final candle, the healing candle, I ask you to take a moment and think of anyone that you'd like to silently put in the light of the healing flame so that they may experience the eternal and everlasting love of the divine.
I am love.
I am love.
I am peace.
I am peace.
In my heart,
In my heart,
I am free.
I am free.
I am spirit.
I am spirit.
I am soul.
I am soul.
All together,
All together,
we are whole.
we are whole.
Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. Calling in the light. Calling in the light. Calling in the light of love. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
So I invite you to close your eyes. Just feel the energy of transformation that has taken place through this ritual. Connecting to the light of the divine that exists within. Feeling the presence of each individual whose name that we called out loud. And those that we remember that we did not call their name. But we feel this deep connection that exists by means of life itself. And today, not only during this service, but post-service and beyond, we remember that we have the capacity and the opportunity to connect to this infinite light that exists. Not a reconnection, but a connection, because a reconnection would imply that it has been broken, and it never has. And so we use this time of connection not only in remembrance, but as a revelation that we have within us all that we need to live a joyful, peaceful, powerful, beautiful life of light and love and wisdom. And so we use that power as we navigate life, not just during the holiday season, but forevermore. We allow this awakening to be real right now. The light that we've called within is shining brightly and illuminating the path before us. All is well. And we let it be as we say together, amen, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. You're welcome. So today we have with us in our service two individuals that we've been missing greatly. And we're so happy that the people that love them have taken care of them over time and also done what they could to get them here today. So let's take a moment and acknowledge Henry Selvatel and Reverend Edward Brown, who are with us today. So moving on, it's time to do some Christmas caroling. You guys ready to sing? Yeah. So our wonderful Andy Belling put together this order of service for us. And you'll see that there are the lyrics to the two songs that we're going to sing. One is Joy to the World, and the other is Silent Night. So I want you to know that before you sing Joy to the World, the lyrics might be a bit new for you, right? Andy did great research to find these lyrics that are modern in their way and are gender neutral. Is that correct? So even though this version was written in 1848, so that's pretty modern, right? So without further ado, Andy Belling, Betsy Abramsohn, Steve Bringleson taking us on a journey of Christmas caroling. Enjoy.
Joy to the world, for love has come. Let earthly praises ring. Let every heart prepare a room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, for justice reigns. Let all our songs employ, while fields and floods, rock hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrow grow, nor thorns infest the ground. Love comes to make the blessings flow, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found. Love fills the world with truth and grace, and all creations prove the glory of this righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of this love, and wonders of this love.
Yay.
Yay!
Silent Night? Yeah.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from
music by Betsy Abramsohn. We're so happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's a Christmas tradition here at LA at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We'll fix it in just a second. You guys can't hear me, right? My voice is pretty deep right now. So make sure I project. It's a Christmas tradition here at Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles that we read or have read to us a letter that was written by, there we go, a letter that was written by Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Teachings of the Science of Mind, as I shared with you earlier. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce this lady to come read it to us. She's been the president of our board of trustees for several years now. She's a great contributor on so many levels to our teaching and our philosophy in our community, and we're just really pleased to have her here. Please welcome to the Bema Dr. Sheila Hughes.
Good morning. Good morning. A Christmas letter by Dr. Ernest Holmes. Christmas is for remembrance. The love manifesting through our gifts to each other typifies the offering of life, the givingness of spirit to its creation. The hands of the eternal are outstretched through our hands, and the heart of the infinite beats in the human breast. But the giver must give of himself, for the gift without the giver is bare. It is not then in lavish gifts that we find true giving, but in the sweet simplicity of remembrance, in the kindly thought, the tolerant mind, and the gentle act. Love alone can give love. Sympathy alone can sympathize, and only goodness can really do or be good. The one who gives for reward does not give at all. He seeks to bargain, to trade for spiritual gifts. Hence, he senses loss on his own giving and finds no completion through the act. But he who gives half his meat to the hungry feels justified and is warmed by a real sense of comradeship. He has established an actual unity between himself and the other offspring of creation. Great causes succeed when there is a giving of humanity. With the check must come the one who wrote it. His interest, his enthusiasm, his love. The check must be a symbol of his desire to impart himself. Then shall it multiply its benefits and do good. Charity is cold, but love is warm. When heart speaks to heart, a divine conversation has taken place, a heavenly discourse. Each of us has something to give. Let each see that he gives of his best. If we are bringing out gifts to the altar of love, nothing less than the best will be acceptable. Nothing less than awe is enough. May the real spirit of Christmas, the giving of self to life, enter and abide in you now and through all time. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sheila. And thank you to Ernest Holmes. And obviously, as she was reading that, it referred to the he or him. So Ernest liked to write in the context of referring to the male, meaning of he or him or masculine as both male and female. So in our evolution of humanity today, that we know that we can speak in languages that doesn't identify just gender. And so I'll let that be what it is. All right. So I believe we're inviting Andy up now with Betsy. Andy and Betsy are going to sing a duet for you that is a song that Andy's done for us before. And I believe you wrote it, correct, Andy? Yes, and it's for a duet that he did with a woman he worked with for many, many years by the name of Dinah Shore. And please welcome Andy and Betsy. My mind just went completely blank in that moment. I started to call you Diane, so. It was a mind blank, and it could be the multitude of drugs I'm on, so which are pharmaceuticals. But Andy and Betsy sing along.
Thank you. Christmas is magic when you're 7 or so. Santa and reindeer are for real.
How do those presents all get under the tree? I'll stay up late and then I'll see.
Searching for reasons as the seasons go by. Why does the wonder have to go? Christmas is different when you enter your teens. When will they know just what it means?
Christmas alone can be empty. Family and friends far away. Unless you hang on to the memory of that one special day.
For once you remember that a Christmas should be sharing with children everywhere, right?
It's then you'll discover the true meaning of the magic of Christmas is love.
Betsy Abramsohn, Andy Belling, and Steve Bingleson. So the theme that we keep hearing this morning, we'll let you guys, I'll let them just take a moment, but the theme that we're hearing this morning is love. How wonderful, right? So as we talked about earlier, love just not about just the human language of love, but love as the self-givingness of spirit, whose desire is to create more of itself out of itself. And the only way it can do that is when we open up to it. So please excuse me and bear with me with the tea. It's needed at the moment. So in opening up to Spirit revealing itself through us, I don't know about you, but for me, oftentimes as I'm certainly walking my dog, sometimes in the shower, but other times in life, I get messages from Spirit saying to me, listen to this, pay attention to this. And this week, as I was preparing my mind for this morning and us sharing this time together in celebration of the Christmas holiday, this particular song kept coming to me. And so I sat down and pulled the lyrics up actually I didn't. I pulled the lyrics up while I'm walking my dog. The truth is on my phone. Technology, isn't it great? I just love it. Like I said, pull up lyrics to It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. Bam, they were right there. And so that's the song that was speaking to me. So I'm going to open with that this morning because I think it's pertinent to what we're here to remember as beings of love. It came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their harps of gold. Peace on earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's all gracious King. The world in solemn stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the cloven skies they come with peaceful wings unfurl, and still their heavenly music floats o'er all the weary world. Above its sad and lowly plains they bend on hovering wing, and ever o'er its babel sounds the blessed angels sing, babel meaning confusing. O ye, beneath life's crushing load, whose forms are bending low, who toil along the climbing way with painful steps and slow. Look now, for glad and golden hours come swiftly on the wing. O rest beside the weary road, and hear the angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on by prophets seen of old, when with ever-circling years shall come the time foretold, when the new heaven and earth shall own the Prince of Peace, their King, and the whole world send back the song which now the angels sing. Now, pretty dark and dreary, huh? Basically, what it's telling us is that in our darkest times, we're here to wait for the salvation of the King, the Prince of Peace. But in metaphysical terms, we know in the teachings of the philosophy and faith and way of life taught by Dr. Ernest Holmes and taught here at the Center for Spiritual Living is that the awaiting that we're on this journey of personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening is not for some king to come out of the sky or to be birthed of a virgin. It's that awakening to the knowledge, the awareness, the wherewithal that deep within us already we have the totality and the wholeness and the Christ-like nature that is being waited within, that is waiting within us to call it forth. We are indeed that Prince of Peace and the King as well. But let's take the gender out of it, because we're not really the prince or the princess. We are the child of the divine. Not some child that's been birthed in a manger 2,000 years ago, according to the lore, but the child of the divine that holds within us the possibilities of awakening spiritually to know who we are and to know that deep within us is indeed already peace, power, beauty, joy, life, light, love, and wisdom. And as we use our minds and our actions and our thoughts and our beliefs and how we show up in the world to reflect and engage those, we develop a consciousness, if you will, a vibrational frequency that reflects that Christ within us that already exists. Dr. Ernest Holmes tells us that Christ means this. It's the Word of God manifest in and through the human. In a liberal sense, the Christ means the entire manifestation of God and is the second person or individual of the Trinity. Now, not Trinity so much as the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, but the totality of life itself, the individual, that's us, within that totality, and the experience that we have as a result of using our mind and our heart, our soul, and our being. Our heart and our soul and our being is that bridge between the wholeness exists and our individuality exists, and how we use it shows up in form. That's that latter part of that. He goes on to tell us that Christ in and of itself is a universal idea, and that each one puts on the Christ to the degree that they surrender a limiting sense of life to the divine. In other words, that we wear the Christ itself to the degree that we surrender or let go of any limiting ideas that we have about not only the totality and the wholeness of the divine, but that it exists wholly and perfectly and completely in and as you and me. He goes on to say that the Christ is that realization of wholeness and unity with God, Spirit. So what we're being told here is that as we continue on our spiritual awakening, that the more and more we will know who we are as a divine being. Our vision statement for this ministry is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. The key to that personal self-empowerment on the journey is the spiritual awakening part. It's important for you and for me that as we navigate life and the everyday components of it, that we remember who we are as a divine being having a human experience. To remember that as a human being, we are indeed having a divine experience as we walk this pathway called life, and that we're not waiting for a Christ to find us or for us to believe in it to be saved from life itself. That as we know we are already that wholeness and completeness and approach life from that perspective and know that we know that we know that the Christ within is alive and awake happening through us, then life itself looks and feels differently as we go about it. In preparing for this morning, I began to review my week. And my week has been filled with a tremendous amount of love and some confusion at times. It's been filled with great times with friends and family. It's also been filled with times of healing past wounds with family members. It's been filled with visiting friends in the hospital. It's been filled with dealing with individuals who are having some very challenging physical situations, many of whom are part of our congregation. It's been spent with my son who's in town and his husband, which has been so fabulous to be able to stop and take stock of what really matters. It's been spent with a very dear loved one who's been experiencing trauma in her life because of her four-legged loved one having temporarily lost his sight and dealing with healing on that. It's been dealing with the action of getting sick. You know, I remember I met a physician at Asilomar one year said, "Yep, it's bronchitis, it's mine, I own it, cheers." In other words, what that means, what I'm speaking to, is that we all have conditions and experiences that we have in life. Dr. David Walker used to tell us that all God's children got stuff. But what's important for us to remember, not just at this time of year, but every single day, that we are called to a higher consciousness. To be called to a higher consciousness. I remember watching an Oprah Winfrey show once that was talking about female genital mutilation, which is a horrible subject, obviously, to say the least. And at the end of the show, she looked into the camera and she said, "Now you know. Now you know this exists on our planet. Now you know, and you know that you know. But the question is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?" And that's the same for you and me as we know that that Christ that we're singing of, that has shown up in a manger 2,000 years ago, that Christmas is all about, that entity of pureness, of wholeness, of pure potentiality exists within you and within me. Now we know, and we know that we know. The question is, what are we going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Not just now, but every single day of the year. Well, just as Ernest told us in his Christmas letter, I think what's important for us to know is that we are to remember, as I said a while ago, who we are. And when we forget, remind ourselves. When we forget, ask our loved ones to tell us. When we forget, surrender to the chatter in our head and allow that power to rise up and let us know. But in addition to that, I think it's important for us to use our minds for remembrance, to remember the wonderful times of yesteryear, to remember the challenging times that we've risen above, to remember all the miracles that we've experienced in life, to remember the love that we shared with our family of life, our human family, our pet family, our mental family, our soulful family, and our physical family, to remember of the growth that we've all experienced in life, to remember the dark moments in life that is an integral part of the mosaic that makes up who we are, as well as our successes. To remember the ability that we have to laugh, to love, to live, and to forgive. To remember that the nature of life and its abundance. To remember that within us is peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom. To remember the times that we've known this in our life and acted in accordance. And to remember that all that is required of us to engage it again is to stop and to think anew. And to remember the possibilities that lie ahead. And to remember the grace of God that is at our disposal. Well, how do we do this? Dr. David Hawkins tells us that the true destiny of the human is to realize the truth of the divinity of one's source and creator which is ever present within that which has been created and is the creator of the self. At some point, he says, the illusion breaks down of the opening for the start of the spirit. The illusion breaks down, and the opening for the start of the spiritual quest commences. The quest turns us from without to within, and the search for answers begins. We change the world not by what we say or do, but as a consequence of what we've become. On this day, as we celebrate Christmas in the year 2019, I have some instructions for you as per the one and only Deepak Chopra on how to engage life. He writes that in the holiday spirit, giving, gratitude, and grace are important. He says, don't let the holidays become something you dread. Instead, get into the holiday spirit by practicing a meditation, inviting giving, gratitude, and grace. Giving, he says. Giving has become so materialistic around the holiday time that it's easy to forget how meaningful it is to give of yourself. In practical terms, this means being generous when you interact with others, sending the following messages. I care. I'm here for you. You matter. I appreciate you. I feel warmth in my heart for you. Here is my love. I can tell you this week, having been with my son, I kept saying to him, my heart is alive with you. And I thought at first he would find that creepy. And he loves it because it speaks spiritual truth. It speaks the vulnerable aspect of telling someone, I love you and how important you are to me. And Deepak is telling us to do that as we continue to give during this holiday season, and I invite you to do the same. He says that to live in gratitude. Gratitude has become a hollow gesture that we overplay by just simply saying thank you, or so often in today's world, which certainly gets my goat, when people say, not a problem. But the reality is in their way, they are saying thank you. He says during the holidays, take a moment and meditate on gratitude, using the same messages as in the giving meditation, only with a change of focus. Now, the messages are, you care. You are here for me. You show that I matter. You appreciate me. You show warmth of heart towards me, and you give me love. Gratitude and giving, when focused through these meditations, opens up a clear path between two people at the level of feeling and an even deeper level of shared awareness, much like I was sharing with you, I did with my son this week. He says, but during this process, there's also purification, because when you express gratitude from the heart, old resentments and negative feelings are detoxified. And the third thing that we're here to give is grace. He says an uncommon spiritual quality is grace, which belongs to the purest levels of awareness, where a single spirit embraces everyone and everything. Grace is that quality in consciousness that enables us to feel safe, protected, loved, and blessed to be alive. The world's wisdom traditions speak of uniting with pure awareness as enlightenment, unity consciousness. By meditating on grace, we bring it more into everyday awareness and give room for experiencing grace in our own lives. This morning in our meditation upstairs, we practiced a meditation on grace by just simply getting quiet, becoming connected to our breath, having the awareness of the region of our heart. We began to visualize a soft light there. And with each and every breath, we allowed that to expand through every aspect of our physical being. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how we began to invite grace into our everyday life, so that as we navigate life, we're not only emanating grace, but in so doing, we're spreading it out in that ripple effect to humanity, and it must return to us multiplied abundantly. Deepak tells us to exhibit grace by opening yourself to everyone in a non-judgmental, accepting way. That's a big charge. But that's how we live, letting the Christ within out. To do everything in our power to open ourselves to everyone in a non-judgmental, accepting way. He said for us to remember that we're Spirit's conscious agents, and that grace remains abstract until it's given a human face. When you're living with the attitude of grace in action, the power of God, of Christ, has descended on earth and is expressing itself through you. So today, let's all remember that we're here to awaken to that personal self-empowerment through our spiritual nature. And we do that through the individual. It's the only way that we can do it, is allowing Spirit, the Christ within, to be expressed through ourselves. And we do that through our thoughts, through our beliefs, through our actions, through our active surrender, and by choosing to be the peace on earth. One of my most treasured memories of the Los Angeles Church of Religious Sciences, specifically at these holidays, is all joining together and singing the song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." This particular song tells us exactly in its most simplistic way how to begin not only living in grace, not only living in gratitude and letting the Christ out, but to how to be the peaceful warrior. The lyrics are this: "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, united all are we. Let me walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, and let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and to live each moment in peace eternally. So let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." So I say, let's sing that together. How do you feel? Andy's going to guide us. The lyrics are in your program. There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Namaste. Thank you.